Namaste, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Blooming Lotus Healing Channel. My name is Jikara, and I'm a spiritual healing facilitator. And today I'm going to be talking about a very touchy subject for myself, and I hope to bring some hope and renewal for those of you who have gone through a similar journey that I have in regards to your relationship with either losing a baby or going through an abortion, or maybe going through a process of having to go through an abortion, even though you didn't really want to, or maybe you felt some guilt around that. So if that's something that resonates with you, and you want to step in with me into this healing container, then I want to invite you to stay connected to this video. So before we get started, I just kind of wanted to take a moment just to thank everyone that is part of the Cosmic Light Activation Group. I am so grateful for those who are my supporters in this journey. I have so much deep gratitude for all of you, and I'm just gonna celebrate you here. For those of you who are part of this group, you are supporting this channel. You are supporting the very roots of this channel, and I just kind of wanted to just mention how grateful I am for your for your support. If you want to be part of this membership program that also supports this channel, then I want to invite you to go head over to my website, which is thebloominglotushealing.com. And you can sign up in the meantime for my email list so that you can get notified when I do open this group again. Some of the things that I can tell you that we do is that we do monthly Akashic clearings. We just did an Akashic clearing yesterday, which was amazing, and everyone was just like really loving the energy and the renewal that it brought to their energy field. So it's kind of like taking a spiritual shower every month. So it's that beautiful monthly spiritual hygiene and energetic hygiene. So that's one of the benefits, which I feel it's the most important one. But there's also a private Telegram channel where I share weekly collective guidance, and also those who are part of the group get to be prioritized on my sessions, my live sessions on Instagram. So I just kind of wanted to also invite you to head over to my Instagram and follow me there if you are someone who's interested in possibly getting additional readings or free readings through my 2 hour sessions on Instagram. So I go on Instagram at 7 p.m. Eastern time, from 7 to 9 p.m. around that, sometimes a little less, sometimes I may say a little more, but kind of around that time frame. And we kind of go in and dive deep into any messages that spirit might have for you. So just kind of wanted to mention that. I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel if this is your first time, and please share and like this video so that we can spread the love. And just sharing and liking this video or subscribing to this channel is a huge support for this channel. So anything that you can do to support the beautiful messages that are really intentionally being set in here would be so helpful. So I kind of wanted to dive into the conversation of abortion, right? And last week I shared my story, and I went really deep and raw into my experience, and I kind of wanted to dive into this specific part of my journey, which was my abortion when I was 17. And me having to go through that experience was really traumatic, because I was kind of pushed into a situation where I did not have a choice, right? To take, like, the choice was taken away from me even at the last minute. And so when I was basically wanting to back away from this, I was basically put to, like, I was hooked into some IV and given something to pass out, and I passed out throughout the entire thing. And so I wanted to dive deep into this because this has been a really big wound for me that I carried for many, many years. I want to say this happened when I was 17. And for the longest time, I did not want to be a mom. Like, I just did not want to be a mom. I just did not feel worthy of it. I felt like I didn't deserve it. I felt like, I felt shame around the abortion. There was so much pain around that, right? And I recently have been getting these nudges from spirit to connect to the essence of the rose, right? And also the womb. And I've been working in healing my womb space for a while now. So it's not a surprise to any of you. I have spoken about plant medicine in the past year. So I have been using plant medicine to help me really connect into and dive deep into these parts that are at the subconscious level within myself, to try to access these points, these pain points that in some shape or form at the conscious level I kind of put away and I didn't want to access because of how painful they were. So I remember last year sitting with plant medicine and setting the intention to heal my womb. And this has been a process, a journey, right? So like it took a while for me to get to the point where to realize that I needed to heal my womb space. And part of that was also communing with other women, and also being, befriending, women, and connecting to sisterhood, and connecting to mothers, and connecting to grandmothers, and connecting to women who were in that embodiment, right, of that beautiful sacred feminine, and powerful creative force. And so as I was connecting to that, I was starting to feel this invitation within myself to really connect to that part of me that really wanted to be expressed but was stunted back when I was 17. And just imagine carrying, for 20 years or more, let's say 20 years, carrying this feeling of not being connected to wanting to have a child, but basically was because of trauma, because of the trauma of not wanting to hurt my child, because of the trauma of having a parent, growing, not having one of my parents growing up, like my father, and wanting to give the best to my child, right? Like I wanted to make sure that everything was perfect, which I feel like that's so beautiful, right? Like just the fact that we think about that thing that we want for our children. We want that beauty, for them to experience the beauty that we didn't get, right? And so we want that for them because we want something better. There's like almost like this internal part of us that wants to make things better for our children. And for the longest time I thought that was like a negative thing about me. I don't know why I felt like that, but I just know that it felt like, oh well, what is this about? And then until someone brought perspective to me and said, the fact that you wanted this to be better for them, that leads me to believe that you would have been an amazing mother. Because I was afraid of not being able to be a good mother, right? And that's been a fear around. There's been a lot of fear around that for me. And so a lot of the internal conversation for me, once I started to be vulnerable and externalize these internal conversations I was having, and having them in safe spaces with women who understood and could see me and hold space for me, from a place of love and compassion, and could see my pain and witness my pain and still be able to bring and bring in the light into those spaces. I was able to really start shifting, the way that I was perceiving things, right? And so I felt like I didn't deserve to have a child for the longest time, right? And so moving through that, and now being married, and my husband and I talking about the possibility of having a child, and wanting to connect to that possibility, was, I've been having to move through a lot of that. And so, it's been all about the womb. And so I recently was invited to, or inspired to post a womb healing meditation, and I may do some more meditations around that, or even clearings around that, and hopefully brings some joy around our womb space for those of us who maybe connecting to our wombs may have felt very difficult and even painful, right? Like and so what I'm trying to say here is that I was connecting again to this really deep, dark, really space of painful, with the connection with the womb. And so that brought a lot of issues around my hormones. I feel like that's been also part of my journey, because the body is listening to everything that we're saying, right? So I know for the longest time I also have had a very unhealthy relationship with my body in general, and that internal conversation about not looking a certain way, or not feeling like I was accepted in my own expression of my body, and not feeling safe in my body, especially because of the experience of, losing a child, but also having the experience of being sexually assaulted, and also experiencing rape. And so all of these things really have been accumulating in the womb space. So going from really connecting, like I was mentioning with on my last video, with Mother Mary, which I call cannabis, and I connecting to her, connecting to my sacral, and healing my sacral through the expression of painting, and then also holding space for those feelings and emotions, and allowing this trauma to really just release through tears, or laughter, or any other way. And then also doing a little bit of connection with my sensuality and my sexuality in from all angles, right? So from the light and the dark, and the weird, and the ugly, and the beautiful, looking at every single aspect of me, and allowing myself to really explore all of me without feeling any shame or feeling any sort of negativity around this. And we need to create those safe spaces for ourselves. And I did that, right? So my womb healing has been happening for a while now. And so first calling in that sacral energy back, and then also calling in the root energy back, and calling in all of these energies back into my body, and then moving into the body. So like starting with the energetic, the mental, and then the energetic, or the spiritual, and kind of now like I'm in this final destination of actually rooting all of this into the body, right? Like allowing this to be anchored, and so and grounded. And so from this, one of the things that I experienced recently, as I've been working with the sacred medicine of mushrooms, they've been showing me so much of the womb healing that I have needed. And so I've been connecting into the medicine for that specific purpose. And so with this beautiful essence of connecting to the sacred medicine, I have been able to quite literally in the last week, in the middle of a session of a circle I was in a mediumship circle with Maurice. You guys know that he's been here, and we've talked about mediumship, we've talked about spirit animal, and connection, and shamanic journeying. He came in and spoke about all these things. And so I've been attending his mediumship circles, and on this second circle that I connected with him, next thing I know, I am, he creates such a beautiful healing space. And so I was in this space of safety. And I guess in a way, my higher self felt that it was time, right, for me to connect to my unborn child. And for the first time in my life, I was able to connect to them, because they were not male or female yet, so they wanted me to call them they. And but anyway, so they came in a form of a cherub. They were so beautiful, and they showed me, right, this beautiful essence of who they are, and how happy they were that they wanted to connect with me. And just kind of like this, almost like releasing me from, like, at a deeper level from that disconnect, feeling like that disconnect from them. And now that I've been connected, I feel this joy, this deep joy, and this deep connection to my womb that I've never really felt before. And yes, and so that disconnect from the womb, how impactful it is for us as women, because the womb is the source of our power. That's where we really ground deep into our power. That's how we ground deep into a lot of the essence of creativity that we're meant to be expressing here on this planet, is through our womb space. And so it is a sacred portal that needs tending to, and it needs love, and it needs attention, and it needs to be spoken to with love and compassion. And how many times, I know growing up, I would be like, oh, I got my period again, or oh, like this period is so, I don't want to have my period. And I would have like these negative thoughts over and over about my womb space and my period and all of this. Like I would connect to my wombs from a place of like heaviness. And later down the road, I realized now that I will not forget this day. I remember getting my period for the first time, and my mom just like almost like she was not happy at the moment. She just looked at me and was like, oh, problems. And I didn't understand, what that meant. But it was kind of interesting, right? That was her reaction, right? And said, of course, that was the way that she was connecting from, to her womb space. So then, of course, I connected to my womb space. That was what I learned. So then now, moving into the space of really allowing myself to connect to my womb with joy. And I feel that this is the invitation from spirit, right? The invitation from spirit is to allow ourselves to feel all of these emotions, to allow ourselves to release and to forgive and to move through the shame, move through the insecurities, move through the anger, move through the pain, move through all of these things, and kind of come into that place of acceptance within ourselves, of bringing ourselves back into that journey of, again, of compassionate exploration of our connection with our womb. And what I'm hoping with this video today, that I'm mentioning this, is to kind of bring that into your awareness. Where in your relationship with your body, first with the body in general, do you feel you're not compassionate? And kind of going into those spaces, and why is it that we are so self-deprecating, right? And so like moving through those, through that awareness, and allowing ourselves to seek the support that we need, if we need to have someone hold space for us as we move through this journey. But then also, giving ourselves that compassionate space to move through this, and allow ourselves to journal, or to dance it, or to sing it, or to express it in drawing or painting, or whatever that is, right, for you specifically. And so, connecting to the sacral, right, and from a place of joy, but also that place of compassion. And then how are you speaking about your functions, about that are related to your womb, right? Like, how are you speaking about these functions? And really reconnecting to it from a place of love, and a place of wonder too, like just kind of giving ourselves permission to be awed into, and I don't even know if that's a word, but being in awe, right, of the power that we carry within us, whether we choose to open that portal of creativity through having a child or not. We can still open that portal of creativity with having other ways of birthing, whether it is birthing ourselves energetically, or even birthing a project, or birthing some sort of event, or birthing a business. Anything, right, can really be birthed through that process of the creation, of opening that portal of the sacral. And so when we give ourselves permission to really start, connecting to these parts of us. And it's not easy. I understand it's not an easy thing that I'm asking you to do, but it's so worth it. It's so worth going to the other side. And now I'm kind of like excited. I was just looking at herbal teas to help me with pregnancy, and like different things that will help me, like with my hormonal imbalances, and like looking for ways to like rebalance, and to bring that healing and that joy physically into my body, and really allowing myself to be in that place of wonder of what the powerful capabilities I have within my body, and how much am I able to express in that essence. So I guess the biggest message that I have, or takeaway that I can give you here, is that speak to your body kindly, and speak to your womb kindly, and give yourself the space to work through any sort of trauma, or energetic debris that may have been left behind. Even taking it one step further, paying attention to the fact that we've had, interactions, sexual interactions with partners, with more than one partner, paying attention to any imprints that are left behind in the womb space, and allowing yourself to clear that and giving yourself permission to release all of that imprint so that you can be in that beautiful space of openness. Because believe it or not, all of that is imprinted. We get imprinted. We are forever changed, right, when we interact with each other, but especially when we are interacting at that physical and energetic level at the same time, such as a an intimate interaction. So I want to invite you to really start looking at these things when you feel ready, and that's the biggest thing that I want to also say too, before I end this video, is that please take your time. We're not in a rush. My journey has taken me so many years. Oh my gosh, like I am 40 years old now, and I had my abortion at 17, and it took me this long for me to actually come into a space of embracing my womb and embracing it from a place of joy and not disconnecting from it anymore, and wanting to reconnect to it from a place of love, joy, and compassion for myself. And so I hope this video, in some shape or form, brought some healing into your heart. I hope that this serves as confirmation for you to, to really see yourself from a place of understanding, from a place of compassion, from a place of love, connecting your heart space to your womb space. And finally, I want to invite you to go back into this channel. I do have a womb healing supportive meditation. Go back and listen to that, and listen to that as many times as you need. Maybe you can do that and start with that, and then eventually go into journaling, and then eventually going into a space of maybe even healing. And you're more than welcome to come to me. I'll be more than happy to support you, if you want any support in regards to clearing any programs around this. Maybe some of these interactions that you had, you may have some programs that were imprinted, and you can go into my website and sign up for my email list, or even book a session at thebloominglotushealing.com. I would be so honored to be able to help you in that journey, especially because this is something that is very dear to my heart. And for anyone that has gone through an abortion or sexual abuse or rape, or domestic violence, like I see you. I see you, and I know that you can get to the other side. I promise you can. So I just kind of wanted to end it here. I want to thank everyone for watching this. Please share and like this video if you feel this can help someone, even if it's just one person. And I also want to ask you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I want to thank you again for being part of this beautiful community. I am so grateful for your time, your presence, your attention, and I will see you next time. Namaste.